Oh boy. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's not, I mean, I use the title of the video for the attention, especially since I know it's going to make the friars mad. But people need to understand that the genocide is the distraction. As fucked up as that may seem, the genocide is the distraction. Go fuck yourself, pedophile Joe. Oh, and the other, look, we have a pedophile friar, and then we have a pedophile who claims to be a priest. Two different pedophiles, two different but the same religions. Isn't that interesting? Both of which are obsessed with me. Fucking clowns, man. It's amazing. But yeah, the genocide is actually the distraction. And I know that sounds fucked up, and that's hard to wrap your head around. But if I told you that herpes was a distraction, what's happening there, Caron? You know what? I need to do some sharing real quick, so hang tight. Alright, so give me 1 second. We got one more share, so just hang on. Man, I try everything I can to get that Ari Shafir to come on this feed, but he won't. You're immature and self-obsessed. I'm immature and self-obsessed. And you watch me every day. You're trying to help me what? Be a pedo like you? Jesus won't accept any success or happiness in your life when you deny him. Yeah, that sounds right. That's why the Jews run the show, right? Because denying Jesus doesn't work. Just try Jesus. What are you supposed to try? What am I supposed to... How do... Jesus into my life. What do you mean? I start pretending I'm hearing voices? Is that what you want me to do? Oh, I think Jesus is talking to me. Jesus, the God of the universe that makes the sun rise and babies breathe and all that other shit. It's listening to my complaints. It's gonna help me with my prayers. Well, as long as I tithe, of course, right? You are a pedo. You absolutely are a pedo. Jesus won't have you because you don't drink the juice. Exactly. Never can, never will. Can't say never have. I mean, you know, when I was younger, I was fed the same bullshit and you know, believed the same. You can't say anything bad about Israel. I didn't know. Prove it, scumbag. You prove it for me, dude. The fact that, like, you prove that you're a pedo, like, you prove how stupid you are, right? By being here and playing the role that you play, like the fact that you still haven't denied being a pedo. And your whole thing is to say, prove it. Like, you understand how ridiculous that is? But you don't, because you're a stupid ass. And really, you have to be really, really fucking stupid to believe in Christianity. The proof being that you guys can never talk about it. If it was something so good and you believed it, then you'd be happy talking about it. I'm in the mood to hear pudding. Let's just be here. Normally I don't get to pudding because by the time we get home.
If you can prove God isn't working through me, then I'll believe it's real. From my woolly hair and big brown feet to my hatred of Israel, if you can pass over my meal, denying my confirmation, I swear to God I will repeal my devilish condemnation. Just look at my beautiful face and tell me I'm not heaven sent. And me not believing in space-time fits in with the firmament tent. You deny since you are hell-bent on insisting the earth is a globe. And like giving up breathing for Lent, well, I hope this puts your head explodes. God's not a TBG fan.
I read a different Gnostic Bible is very different from, I I read a different Gnostic Bible, which is very different mainstream Christianity. So you're an arrogant piece of shit, right? Like, I don't know what you're trying to say, but you're proving how arrogant you are. You're disgusting hypocrite who makes awful music. That's why you watch me every single day, begging for my attention and listening to everything I'm doing and saying. Yep, I must be wrong for thinking we should kill pedophiles. Gosh, how disgusting and weird I must be, huh? Interesting how that works. Oh, yep, now I'm projecting. What does that even mean? I'm projecting. How am I projecting? By suggesting we kill pedophiles. How am I projecting? What am I actually projecting? I know that's what you're trained to say. I know that's part of the course. Like, I know you're not a real priest, right? You're not even a real person. You're just another act.il fucking, Israeli, what they call it? Live bot or whatever? I can't remember what they call it. But you're nothing. You're a piece of shit. Why do you always come from a hateful place? Why are you so full of hate? Again, I don't have to explain this to people who don't rape children. Right? People that don't rape children completely understand why I'm so hateful of child rape. It's the people who rape children who can't understand why I'm so hateful. Why do you always come from such a hateful place? And I'm positive as fuck. I don't know what you're talking about. I come from a positive place. Life will be better for everyone if we can get rid of the friar cult. If we can eliminate the friar cult, like, altogether, life will be better for everyone. That's positivity, baby. You can only fix things if you're willing to call out the problem. How you gonna, if I got a bunch of blood all over my arm, and I'm like, man, where's all this blood keep coming from? And somebody's like, dude, you got a big ass cut right on the top here. You got a cut right under your shoulder right there. What are you talking about? No, don't talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about where this blood is coming from. The blood is coming from the cut on your shoulder. No. No, don't say that. You're not allowed to say that. No, we just need to keep cleaning the blood. Keep wiping the blood. Eventually, if we just keep wiping the blood, it'll stop bleeding, right? If we just keep wiping it, there won't be any more, right? We don't have to heal the wound. Why would we try to address the wound? God, you're such a conspiracy theorist. Dude needs to chill with the Israel. Who needs to chill with Israel shit? Israel fucking sucks. Israel is the worst. Israel is literally like the safe haven for pedos and monsters and shit. It's the worst thing you can say. It's the worst place on earth. But what are you achieving? Well, at the very least, I'm keeping you pedos busy for a couple hours. But obviously, whatever I'm doing is so egregious to you guys, is so, hurtful and worrying to you guys that you send so much effort my way. Obviously, what I'm doing is working very, very well. I don't know how you could see it any other way. You guys have to censor me in order to keep me down. You can't even just allow me to exist normally and let the world, let the pre-programmed sheep debunk everything I have to say, because there's nothing to debunk. You can't debunk me at all. Not even a little bit. I'm fucking God to you guys. Let's see. Do you think people are going to be attracted to your hate? Do you know how many people are put off by what you are saying or what you? Yeah, I'm sure there's a lot of dumb fucking pedophile friar pieces of shit out there who wish someone like me would stop saying what I say. I absolutely understand that. I understand that more than most. Right? I understand that the pedophile problem is a lot worse than people think. And I also understand there are a lot of people out there that not only like what I say, but would like what I say if they were allowed to see it. Which is why I'm censored so much. Because you guys know that shit too. Obviously, if you're setting your alarm so you can be here 30 seconds after I go live, I must be doing something right. Especially if you're the opposition. Especially when you are acknowledge yourself as a friar and can't back up anything that you stand for. You can't justify, you can't explain, you can't even talk about your shit. You're just a dumbass. You say, oh, you're lying, but then you never say what I'm lying about. Shit. If what I say puts you off, if what I say is off-putting to you, good. That way we know who's who. There are only people that are fuck with children, that are dumb Christians, that are dumb, if you're somebody that's dumb and selfish, yeah, you're not going to like what I have to say. But if you actually want things to get better, truth is sexy as fuck, man. Even the people that say they don't like me are obsessed with me. Yeah, as long as I keep telling the truth, it'll all work out just fine. Oh, Mossad has your exact GPS location. I'm sure they do. Mossad has everybody's exact GPS location. That's why we have phones. Does anybody, look at all these random people that are here. Does anybody really think that there are just Israelis and friars who are just on YouTube and just happen to stumble across my feed over and over again? Dumb piece of shit pedo friar after dumb piece of shit pedo friar just happens to find their way here do you really think that's happening? Or does act.il make a lot more sense when you look at this feed? Look at this dumb shit. Look, nobody actually addresses what I'm saying. Do you see this? Look at all the comments that are coming through. How come none of them say, you're wrong about this? This is why. How come they never do anything like that? All this virtue signaling when you won't even buy a homeless guy a coffee. Yeah, okay. All you do is scream about friar people all day and nobody actually knows what your worldview is. Really? I think it's pretty obvious. If you don't know, again, you're a dumbass inbred friar. So I'm not surprised that you have a hard time following this. Would it help if I was like, then would you understand things a little better? Yeah, especially if you are assigned to be here rather than tuning in. And this is the best you can do. You know what I'm going to say. You know all the stuff I'm going to talk about. And yet, this is the best you can do, huh? What's up, Melbourne, Australia? I know Australia is fucking... I wish I was in Australia, to be honest with you. I wish I could, bounce to Australia and live it out there. Because it really does seem like Australia. Notice how that Bondi Beach bullshit just disappeared, immediately? As soon as people were like, hey, that guy's IDF, they were like, oh, story goes away, story. Hey, look over here, look at this story now. Look, Temple Israel, look. That Bondi Beach thing was bullshit. Was as bullshit as it gets. Oh, here we go. Let's see what the pedo has to say. Haters stalk your line, but they're weirdos. Just ignore them. No, why would I just ignore them? They're a huge part of this puzzle. You have, like, it. They're not just haters. You know, a hater's somebody that pops in, talks some shit, and leaves. This is completely different. This is the exact same thing. Israel, I'm talking about your average 60-year-old mega Republican or your average Gen Z kid is... No, yeah, Gen Z is absolutely against you. Yeah, old school, dumbass Christian Republicans, yeah, they're probably brainwashed enough to you know, be stupid. But the next generation, what makes you think the next generation supports anything Friar or Israel? Like, have you not been paying attention? They literally have to change the laws. They're literally changing the laws to make this is like, fuck that. The youth, the next generation, like, there's still all sorts of protests and shit happening at college campuses. They just don't talk about it. They just don't show it on the news because they know that inspires people. But yeah, no, you guys know. That's why you're so desperate. That's, you know, that's what ACT.IL's mission statement was to begin with. Was to try to control things online because it's getting out of hand. And the reality is they had to go to war to cover it up. Like I say, the genocide is just part of the distraction. It's part of the cover-up. You know, these motherfuckers are you know, it's so much worse than genocide. Like I always say every day, the number one thing at this point is that we need to save the Jewish children. Now, I don't care if you're some mega Republican or you're whatever. If you can't get behind the idea that we need to save Jewish children, something's wrong with you. Let's see. Jesus Christ, you're so stupid. The super hostile stance is never going to be... Of course, I'm going to be censored. That's all that is. But the truth is the truth. That's why you tried to bribe me. Like, this is the guy that tried to bribe me by saying he was going to give me $50,000 to stop talking about this shit. Do you guys understand that? Like, I don't believe it's real or anything. Obviously, he has no money. He's a broke bitch. But the fact that that's just the desperate tactics that they're resorting to is just trying to come up with anything they can to get me to stop because I'm so wrong about everything, right? That's what makes sense here. All this effort, all this energy, all this crybaby, it's because I'm wrong. That just, the stupidity involved is just so outrageous. Like, how could you, like, it always amazes me that someone like Joel actually types out what he types out and it's like, oh, this is gonna get him. Oh yeah. Oh, this is, now I'm gonna get him here. I'm so wicked, smucking fat. Right? Like Joel actually thinks what he's saying makes sense. He actually thinks he's like saying things that other people are like, oh yeah, that Gen Z totally supports Israel, don't they? Like, what kind of dumb shit? This guy is just fucking dumb, man. And it's the inbreeding. You know, their inbreeding just has them so stupid. It's why you'll never, ever, ever see a reasonable video where there's a friar having some sort of debate with someone. Like Anna Kasparian or anything like that. You never see anyone engaging with her literally because they can't. They just simply can't. There's nothing they can say that's going to make any sort of sense. So they just start saying these dumb fucking things, you know, like watch the I hesitate to say a debate, but watch the exchange between Shmuley and Candace on the Piers show. Watch how Shmuley just loses his shit and can't actually answer for anything. Candace sounds super intelligent. Candace is making reasonable points, and she's dumb. Don't get it twisted. Candace is a fucking moron. What? You're taking her, right? What? You should take her with you. You can. It's okay. She'll be alright. And your appearance is unkempt, wearing faded clothing. What authority does your voice hold with your image? Oh, now we're getting desperate, aren't we? Now my image isn't good enough. If I had like some big old schnoz, would that make it better? Look at how desperate you are. Oh, go! How's it going, man? Oh. Let's see. Hey. Or tell you that you have some points bang on, some points sort of slightly skewed, and kindly educate you instead of their pack mentality pedo pattern. Yeah, I mean, it's like, if you just look at this from a common sense point of view, nothing about this makes sense. Like, this isn't how debates work. This isn't how somebody has an issue with something somebody else is saying, and so this is what you do. Like, imagine if you know, you were watching some sort of debate or some sort of conversation was happening, and somebody just walked up and was like, let's see. Still arguing with psychosis? Says, yep, psychosis. Like, the fact that they use these words because they're too stupid, like, that they know that using those words proves my point. When they say shit like psychosis, and for those that don't understand, real quick here, we'll try to give you a little bit of understanding. And I know there'll be people that are crying right now because I'm not reading their comments, but how am I supposed to read comments and respond to things at the same time? There's going to be a delay if I'm actually responding to the comments. So I know there's crybabies. This guy needs help. Yep. Because what they do is it's all about trying to make the person sound crazy. They can't actually argue any of the points made. So, like Dave Chappelle said, the worst thing to do is to call somebody crazy. It's dismissive. They're trying to get you to call me crazy so that you just dismiss everything I'm saying. That way you won't hear it and maybe, you know. Because I mean, I guarantee you, if you hear my presentation, you hear the evidence that I have, there's no way you can still be a good God-fearing Christian or a good fucking, you know, Goyim slave. You'll see it. I can provide you with enough evidence to, at the very least, get you thinking about things. But you're going to see the same shit here. And that dude's dressed like a Muslim, go figure. Or is that... Oh, I think that's me, actually. That's another one of me. Where, again, think about this. Somebody takes pictures of me and then makes, you know, fake pictures with my face in them. Uses those fake pictures on the fake accounts they've made, specifically so they can watch me. And it's all because I'm wrong and I don't matter and everything I'm saying is fake and all that, right? That's what warrants that kind of effort and energy, right? Like, most of you can think of at least 2 or 3 people that you've made fake pages just so you can watch them, right? You can think of 2 or 3 people that you obsess over even though you claim you hate them, right? Is that how that works? They killed Charlie Kirk. Yeah, they did, of course. I said it from the beginning. They killed Charlie Kirk because Charlie was supposed to be killed. They're not going to sacrifice Ben Shapiro or one of their own. So what they do is they create a sacrifice. And they frame it around Christianity, so we're all used to that. Oh, Christianity and the sacrifice and killed and... You know, they set it up perfectly. If you look at Charlie's donor list, it reads like a bar mitzvah sign-in sheet. They made Charlie Kirk so they could kill him. Flat out. That's it. It's actually much more simple than you want to think it is. You know, most people want to think the conspiracy is some super complicated, you know, supernatural. You can't even wrap your head around how crazy it is. Nah. It's an inferior group of people who were put into the position they were put in. And through years of inbreeding and laziness, they became a really awful version of themselves. And, you know, they can't like physically do it, but they're doing everything they can to maintain their position. It's not about taking control of anything. They've been in control of everything. They're just trying to maintain it now because they fucked up, gave us the internet, gave us social media, and instead of us, you know, using it to be better Goyim slaves, we used it to be better Goyim. And we've been uniting, and we've been, you know, exploring and exposing and all these things. They're shit that they were like, wait a minute, this isn't supposed to happen. And if they were even slightly intelligent, they would have seen it coming. But because they're so inbred and stupid, they didn't even see it coming. Right? They were like, yeah, we'll give them an easier way so they can schedule their loyalty to us. And Let's see. I will pay you $10,000 to stop talking. See, we've gone through this before. You won't. You're a lying-ass friar. And why anybody would ever believe anything friars say is beyond me, but they lie. They pretend to be much bigger and better than they are. I can't tell you. This has got to be the fourth or fifth person to offer me money, at least theoretically, offer me money to stop doing what I'm doing. You know, because I'm wrong. That's what you do, right? Joel is right, though, is he? The pedophile, what's the pedophile right about? And it's interesting that you're calling him Joel when you shouldn't know that unless you actually know the guy. Oh, look. DJ Way of Life is flying the blue and white pedo flag. Let's see how many people are going to fly the blue and white pedo flag. Acknowledging who they are and where they're, acknowledging their allegiance and proving my point. You think there just happens to be random people on YouTube that are going to fly the pedo flag? Are you kidding me? You look like a 40-year-old frat boy. Sweet! I look 40. I just got told I look 40. I just got told I look 40. Frat boy, dropout, and lives on a shoestring budget. And people are supposed to watch you and decode reality in real time. Or watch you decode reality in real time. I don't even think you really take what you say. See, I know you always try this. When your other shit doesn't work, now you pretend like I don't believe what I'm saying every single day for hours at a time to my detriment. Right. I don't believe that pedophiles like you should be killed. Yeah, you're right about that, buddy. And that's how I know you're already lost. You failed, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it has nothing to do with calling you pieces of shit out, right? Because funny enough, even though it's not real and there's no such thing, everybody knows that if you talk bad about the friars, you're gonna suffer consequences for it. How do we all know that if it's not real? How is that like a you know, such a commonplace conspiracy theory? You know, like well poisoning and what are the other the lies, the well poisoning and the blood libels. Yeah, right. The same fucking lie rumor has been flying around for as long as people have been keeping track of things. They've been saying, yeah, these pieces of shit will poison drinking water systems, like in Operation Cast Thy Bread. I'd look it up. These people are killing Christian children, bleeding them dry, and then using their blood for their rituals. Interesting that the same fucking rumors have persisted for such a long time. And you know, because nobody likes me, my numbers, I'm at 24 watchers and 8 likes. Because nobody likes me or agrees with what I'm saying or feels the same way, right? You guys aren't going to share it because you want to kill pedophiles as well. You guys aren't going to share my feed because you're sick of the friar rulership, are you? Nah. Notice how he never actually makes a point. He just whines about other people's remarks, not a single solution ever put forth. What are you talking about? I have a final solution for sure. Yeah, the solution is when I win the presidency, we make it illegal to be a friar in the United States. And so we give all of you piece of shit friars the option to either walk away from your pedophile cult and join everybody else in making the world a better place, or stay being your pedophile cult, and we're going to ship you off to the Jewish Autonomous Oblast. We're going to give you what you want. We'll give you you already have your very own place. And we're just going to help you get there. Now, I know some of you will be like, well, what do you mean? What about Israel? Well, that's something we created that problem, right? So because we've created that problem, we're going to fix it. So you don't want to be in Palestine because Palestine isn't going to be very friar friendly anymore, right? We're gonna clean up the mess we made in Palestine. We're gonna ship you all of you that you know want to continue being pedophile cult members, of course. We're gonna ship all of you to your very own country, which was established for you a long time ago. The Jewish Autonomous Oblast in Russia, and you know you will prove everyone wrong. Right? Because you won't have any more American money or support or anything like that. But you don't need us. You don't need the dumb Goyim. You'll thrive in your environment. The Jewish Autonomous Oblast is beautiful. Don't get it twisted. It's 3 times the size of Israel. It's got a milder climate. It's more like a Michigan. It doesn't get, you know, you don't get like heavy duty winters. It stays pretty mild all year. You got, you know, trees and mountains and lakes and stuff, forests. If you're an outdoorsy person, it's an ideal place. But it was established in 1928 and official in 1934. And it's you know, all you want is a place of your own where you can feel safe. You won't be surrounded by the Muslims that there's 150,000 rockets pointed at Israel at all times. Do you remember them saying that for years? For years, they would claim that 150,000 rockets pointed at Israel at all times. We're always in danger. Why doesn't anybody ever shoot those fun rockets? Like it's just there's just so much obviousness to it all. Right? Keep arguing with psychosis. Yeah. Oh, thanks for the reminder. So, I guess first and foremost, you guys need to understand what auto-emancipation is. So, auto-emancipation is much more important than you realize, actually. Like, if you start looking up the Aliyahs, first Aliyah, you guys know that it's as obvious as without the fucking Rothschilds, Israel wouldn't exist. Do you understand how conspiracy theory that is? It could have been anyone else and it wouldn't have been as conspiracy theory as the Rothschilds are why Israel exists. But auto-emancipation is a pamphlet written anonymously. Remember, it's anonymous. It was anonymous for a long time until they ascribed it to this guy, Leon Pinsker. But at first, it was just, it anonymously appeared in German publications in a pamphlet that was spread around Germany. Pamphlet written in German by a Russian, Polish, friar doctor who was only a doctor because friars weren't allowed to practice law in Russia at the time. So he got his law degree and then just decided to be a doctor instead. Because that's how that works, right? I'm sure you can show me lots of doctor lawyers. Doctor and activist Leon Pinsker in 1882. 1882 is when it appeared. We don't know, I don't know when they ascribed it to him, but it wasn't, right away. It is considered a founding document of modern friar nationalism, especially Zionism. Now, of course, just like anything that has to do with them, the initial thing is always victim card, play the victim card, right? So it says, modern friar nationalism, especially Zionism. The next sentence is, Pinsker discuss the origins of anti-Semitism. He doesn't say, like, the first thing isn't why they're good, why they deserve their own land, why this, why that, why they make the world a better place. The first thing is the origins of anti-Semitism, and argued for friar self-rule and the development of a friar national consciousness. He wrote that friars would never become the equals to Goyim until they had a state of their own. Understand, this isn't just some goofy pamphlet. This is what's given credit for the first Aliyahs. This is what gives, this is why there's so much friar. Apparently they had no sense of nationalism or pride or anything like that before this pamphlet. This pamphlet is referred to in any of their histories. If you look up any sort of friar history, movements, Theodore Herzl, all these kinds of bullshits, the auto-emancipation pamphlet is a foundation of that. And funny, I've never heard anybody else talk about it. Never. Weird, huh? He called on friar leaders to convene and address the problem. This is the most important part. In the pamphlet, he describes the anti-friar attacks. If you don't believe in their supremacy, if you don't believe that they should have a place all their own and they should be self-governed, and I mean, they're the ones that always separate themselves. Their entire shit show is based on them separating themselves. And then they cry that they're not being included. You're the one that makes yourself out to be the oddball, the unique one, the chosen by God people. He describes anti-friar attacks as a psychosis, exact word used, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. You can't possibly have good reasons to not think they should have the superior position. If you think anything other than they are superior, you have a psychosis, a pathological disorder, and an irrational phobia. Do you understand how fucked up that is? Kind of fits in with that narrative of take your meds, take your meds, take your meds, right? You have schizophrenia. They love saying that people are schizophrenic. I figured this out because I noticed that pattern, right? I noticed that they would constantly come in and be like, this is schizophrenia. And it's like, do you even know what schizophrenia means? Like, they clearly don't fucking know. They're inbred stupid. But the more you look into it, the more you look up things like this, act.il, the Secure Community Network, the Havara Agreement, Team Jorge, the first Aliyah. The more you look into this shit, the more you realize, like, the reason why they've made the conspiracy theorists so bad is because we're right. There's no arguing anything that's being said. You'll never see it. I know it seems like I'm not addressing the comments, but other than the people that support me, these guys aren't going to address anything. They're just going to cry. Well, I would address the comments, but you're not going to read them anyway, so you're just going to say a bunch of mindless shit instead? You would say something smart, but because I won't read it, you won't say it? What sense does that make? Guy is one of the most informed and researched people I've ever seen on these subjects. Very smart and reasonable if you have common sense and humanity. I mean, everything I'm doing, like, the other thing you notice is that these guys keep pretending like I'm somehow preventing them from making arguments, right? What's stopping these guys from saying shit that goes against what I'm saying? Or is it, now I'm actually going to make it onto the scoreboard instead of the remedial practice rota? You're a C- at best. I wonder if you could get a B+. Maybe one day try harder. Who are you talking to, Joe? No, guy, we are watching you. You aren't crazy. I know I'm not crazy. I know you're watching. You don't have to tell me. It's all right here in the comments. It doesn't make sense any other way. There's no reason why so many friars should be here other than act.il. Act.il is a social networking service used by... This is called evidence, right? People wonder, why do you read these things? Because this is evidence. You keep saying, well, you're not even saying anything, and you don't provide evidence, and... This is the evidence. This is... Act.il is a locked up page. Nobody's editing this. Social networking service used by supporters of Israel to oppose online, quote, anti-Israel content, such as the BDS movement. Its activities were referred to as, quote, an online propaganda campaign and, quote, a virtual situation room of pro-Israel experts. This Act.il directed its users to missions to like, comment on, and share pro-Israel material on social media. It also asked users to flag, report, and respond to criticisms of Israel. Users were guided how to respond which might entail writing a reply using the provided talking points. Does that make sense? When you wonder why people don't actually address what I'm saying, why doesn't anybody address anything I'm saying? Because they're guided not to do that. What they're told to do is call the person crazy. Call the person crazy. Because if they actually were to get into any of these with me, if they were to actually try to justify metzitzia, if they were going to justify soul correction, if they're going to justify the Talmud, they would sound like fucking nutcases. Blood libels and all. They'd sound crazy, so they can't. Let's see. It's crazy how you can talk to people and think you are qualified to tell people whether or not God exists. LOL. I can respect somebody that says they are agnostic, but they don't pretend to know. Who gives a fuck what you can respect? You're a piece of shit pedophile. You think I give a fuck about your respect? I hope you hate everything I do. Yeah, that was smart. Trying to do it again. Bust your... No. You don't want to touch that. That one doesn't have it. Last comment was for... I know. I'll go... Let's see. How much... Oh, wow. There's a lot of comments here. Let's see. I don't know anything you're saying, and I'd argue the multiple things you're listed aren't central tenets of modern. You say you don't know anything I'm saying, so because you don't know it, that means it's not real? Isn't that interesting how you say that? Isn't it interesting? People, I don't know what you're talking about, but you're wrong. Isn't that interesting? Like, I don't provide you guys with evidence to back up everything I'm saying. The app also provided users with ready-made memes promoting Israel's perspective for them to share. By completing missions, users earned points, unlocked badges, stripes, and had their scores displayed on leaderboards. According to 972, Act.il was the centerpiece of a digital campaign called For IL, or For Israel, announced in 2017 by Gilad Erdan, then the Minister of Strategic Affairs, for the promotion of Israel and the delegitimization of the BDS boycott, divestments, and sanctions movement. The Act.io app, listen again, would assign users missions to challenge social media posts it considered to be critical of Israel or in favor of the BDS movement. Erdan called it an Iron Dome of Truth. Act.io was a joint project of the private Israeli university IDC Herzliya and the US-based Israeli-American Council. The Maccabee Task Force, one of Sheldon Adelson's, if you're not familiar with Sheldon Adelson, the Adelsons, Miriam Adelson, the control of Trump, it's all in one video that I show you guys all the time. Everything you need to know is in that one video. Especially the stand up, Miriam. She doesn't stand. Stand up, please, Miriam. She stands. Like, it's very, very telling. Sheldon Adelson's Foundation is a major funder of Act.il. The organization behind Act.il is staffed by former intelligence officers and has a collegial relationship with the Israeli intelligence community. It has a close relationship with Israel's Minister of Strategic Affairs, which combats the BDS movement, which it views as a threat. Now, this page used to end with this paragraph. According to Mendoweiss, an email sent in March 2022 to the app's users announced that the app would be shut down, but that users should continue to interact with Act.il's content on its other social media platforms. The application was relaunched, and now it says the application. This last paragraph has been there for about 9 weeks. The application was relaunched in early March 2026 under the name RISE app, RISE, capital APP, with the former Act.io owners partnering with Reichman University for the release and also transferring the former Act.io user base of 40,000 plus to the new service. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? So not only do you have this information, you then have all of these dumb friars that come on here, call themselves rabbis, fly the pedo flag, do all the shit that they do to acknowledge that they are who they are. Remember, this is 0.183% of the world's population. Roughly 2% of the US population. And yet, they're at least 50% of the people viewing my feed. Does that make sense? Does it make sense that there would be any friars here? Why would any friars watch my feed of all feeds? Does that even make sense? Like, what the fuck would they have to gain watching the feed? Especially since all they're going to do is cry about everything. You know, they can't actually, they're not smart enough to engage. So they just cry and cry, and with their crying, they actually prove my point. Yeah. Give me a second. You said 10 minutes. It's only been 7. You're a good streamer and entertaining. Right. It's entertaining for me to call you a pedophile and to shit all over your piece of shit cult. The thing that you call a religion, but it's a cult. Yeah, that's fucking entertaining, all right. Nothing better than someone calling you a pedo and making you look stupid, huh? It's entertaining because it's patently false. Yeah, right. That makes sense. That makes sense. Which part's false? Go ahead. Tell me which parts I'm getting false. Which parts have I gotten wrong? Is it the Talmud? Am I wrong about the Talmud? Am I wrong about soul correction? Am I wrong about metzitzia? Oh. So? The dog's safe kind. Jif is? Natural. The regular Jif is not, and neither is the cheap shit. It's got that chemical in it that kills the dog. Sure it does. Sure it does. You have to love the stupidity they come up with. No, it's just entertaining. It's so entertaining that I come here and I cry about it all day long and I say, you should stop doing what you're doing because you're so entertaining. Makes sense, right? These inbred fucking friars make sense, don't they? It's so entertaining that you come here and cry about it and want me to stop doing it. Ouch. I just can't even relate to it because, like, there's nobody in this world that is so important to me that I would make fake profiles to watch them. Like, maybe my kids, maybe if for some reason we had some sort of falling out, I guess, maybe. But the rest of this shit, like, you guys are just such fucking clowns.
Oh yeah, turn the left one remote scanner. Move the other one too. Because I like to choose.
Oive, calm down and enjoy your bagel. No, I'm good. Again, why would anybody ever come here to tell me to stop doing what I'm doing? Why wouldn't you just go about your own life? And even if you say, okay, I stumbled across this feed like some of you claim, well, that doesn't explain why you come back day after 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 day. That's what I needed. Why don't you read any of my messages? Why don't I read the crybaby shit where you tell me how I'm not going to read your stuff? Yeah, that makes sense. I don't read your shit because nothing you say matters. Everybody can see how stupid you are for themselves. They don't need me reading it. They would perhaps watch it, but they would do it and from the shadows, I think. I mean, just make sense. Anything we're talking about, anything that I'm getting wrong, I highly encourage everybody to pick whatever thing that I'm getting wrong the most and tell everybody what I'm wrong, what I'm getting wrong. Tell everybody what I'm wrong about. I want to hear it. I think what it boils down to is jealousy. Yeah. Again, look at how the friar just keeps jumping from thing to thing. He keeps coming up with every excuse possible, but won't simply answer for what's going on with metzitzia. He won't answer for, any of the simple things put forth here that could make him look better, that could make them look better. Instead, they just cry. Oh, I am. And you will watch me every fucking day like a good little boy. You are right. I'm not calling you a bad serious. May I ask why you want Guy to talk about soul correction? Soul correction is important. Oh, look, I'm supposed to read the comments where the guy thinks he's clever and puts N, I, next comment, G, next comment's G. But the thing is, YouTube's figured that out. YouTube won't let you do it, so it never comes through the way you want it to. He's scattershot listing various points of friar theology, either without context, misconstruing, or entirely falsifying to support his conspiracy that the world is fueled solely by the chosen people. Gee, that's weird. That's not what I said. Isn't that strange? Isn't it strange how they have to make up their own nonsense to be able to answer? And again, when you say these things, these blanket statements, like I'm misconstruing or taking it out of context, how come you never provide the correct context? How come you never construe it the proper way? How come that never happens? Why do you always hide behind these blanket crybaby comments? And this is what happens from low me to pedophile Rabbi Shmuley. You see these same tactics because this is how they're taught to do it. People just don't understand. They're taught this shit. That's why auto emancipation, sounds like it's the foundation of what they're taught, what they say, because it is. How many of you know about the Secure Community Network? If you saw the news reports about the Bondi Beach bullshit, the fake fucking false flag Bondi Beach, they literally mention the Secure Community Network multiple times in the reporting. The Secure Community Network connects 90% of American friars it connects them. And it provides, information when there's some sort of shooting or something. It provides them with strategy. It provides them with help. Like the Secure Community Network, they know about shit before we do. I mean, we really need to be focused on Naomi Elkins. Clearly, the only answer to why I'm here is because I'm in the pocket of the ADL. I mean, you guys make those jokes, but what else makes sense? Why else would you spend so much of your life begging for my I'm wrong? Right? Think about how ridiculous it is that these fucking morons, this obvious about it all. They're not even smart enough. I mean, I really do think they think they're doing a good job. Like they type this shit out and they go, this is going to get him, click. But it's because they're so inbred and stupid. That's serious. I'm absolutely serious in my comments directed to you. You stand out to me. And I see most of the stupid comments. As I said, you sounded like an intelligent person with... No, dumb fryer. Dumb fryer. They might put forth the image that they're an intelligent person with points to make, but they won't make them. I can't tell you how many times that profile has said that all I do is take things out of context. Literally that thing especially. That's what they say every time. And of course I say, well, then put it in context. Tell me what I'm getting wrong. And the fact that I can take something out of context in your book means there's something wrong with your book, with your shit. You pretending like the problem here is that I'm pointing it out is exactly the friar bullshit that we're always talking about. Fortunately, this is going to be my last time here. Good. I hope it's because you're going to fix yourself. You're going to kirk yourself. You're going to fix the pedo problem. That would be really great. I'm on to greener pastures. Some could say good luck with all the obstacles that are surely to come your way. What? See? They're pulling Joel out because Joel has either got enough points or they're embarrassed by him. He has proven to be nothing but a fucking embarrassment. This is the guy who when I'm reading the Israel Hayom accounts, the article that is the accounts of poor Jewish women who were the victims of these crimes. This guy's only response is to say that the Jewish women are lying, that the Jewish publication is lying, that everyone is just lying. The thousands and thousands of cases, the thousands of people that were at least brave enough to come forward, because that's a small percentage of those that are actually victimized. He said that they were all liars. That's what a piece of shit this guy is. To maintain his own fucked up delusion, he calls victims of rape, of ritual sexual assault, liars. They're all liars. They're just lying. All of those women are just lying. The Jewish women are lying to make Jews look bad. That makes sense, doesn't it? Doesn't that make sense? Pedo accusations, guys, Brett. Many people in the chat here have made many comments pertaining to said device or deviance. You got caught in a generality there. No. See, this is the part that you're not understanding. This is the part that my wife doesn't allow herself to understand. And it's just as simple as comparing it to NAMBLA. Are there any good NAMBLA members? Can anybody tell me about the good NAMBLA members, please? Come on, guys. Let's hear what you have to say. I just got a Hummer today. Thought you should know. Yeah? I mean, you're a liar. You have no money. You're a cowardly piece of shit who won't even make a Guy Williams Sucks video to show off this wealth that you have. But you're a liar. Nobody believes anything you have to say because all you fucking do is lie. Again, that's the guy that thinks the girls that are speaking out, they're all lying. The females that are speaking out, that they're liars. The guy that lies about how rich he is. I'm so rich. You're, Y-O-U-R, taking it out of context. That is so wrong. That's so wrong. You're, Y-O-U-R. That's how smart these people are. And again, when English isn't your first language, then yeah, I guess it does make sense that you would struggle with it, doesn't it? Especially with the yours and the theirs and the twos. Strangely enough, all of these friar profiles seem to have a real hard time with the yours and the theirs and the twos. You know, like English, their first language. The funny thing is, like, I'm actually proud of myself. You know, I know, like, I watch a lot of these dumb fucking cop shows because my wife watches them and shit. So I'm forced to watch this bullshit.
Israel made Charlie Kirk, and Israel took him out. Their
Belch.
sacrifice only works when we are filled with doubt, and Israel's not about to Kirk one of their own. We're supposed to scream and shout while feeling nothing but alone.
Much love. Fuck you. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So again, the genocide is the distraction. You know, I'm not generalizing people in a certain way. If you are a NAMBLA member, you can fucking eat a bag of dicks and die. Like, I don't have any sort of sympathy. Oh, really? You work on cancer treatment? Oh, well, fuck you. You need to die. Oh, you donate millions of dollars to children's this, that, and the other? Fuck you. You need to die. You saying, oh, you don't partake in it, but you support it, and you defend it whenever anybody gets in trouble or somebody brings it up? Yeah, fuck you. You need to die. Look, all of the people that are here, and they're here in a negative perspective, or from a negative perspective, they're either working or they feel really fucking guilty. Right? Like, especially the religious ones who know that you're only religious for your selfish fucking bullshit. If you actually cared about other people, you wouldn't still be religious. You'd call it out for what it is. It's all about your own selfish salvation, and I want to go to heaven when I die. You're just fucking dumb. I am right. I'm right about all of it. I'm right about everything I'm saying, and that's why nobody ever tells me what I'm wrong about. It's really simple. If I was sitting here saying that the key to everything is that we need to start harvesting unicorn poop and using it to fucking, it's got all these magical properties that make everything better, you better believe that people would address the thing I'm saying. They would come out here and be like, "You're stupid, man. Unicorns don't even exist." And they would happily address what's being said. They wouldn't just come here and be like, "You're wrong about the unicorn poop thing, man, but I'm not going to talk about it. You have to come to my special location for me to talk about it. I'm going to come here and watch you every day, but you have to come to a location for me to talk about this one thing." Nobody's going to say that shit. If I was sitting on here and I was the NAMBLA member trying to tell people that what they do is okay, I would imagine there'd be a pretty large group of people on here trying to figure me out where I am to come see me, let alone arguing with me. And yet I'm going after an entire fucking cult, a religion. I'm calling out this entire thing's existence, this control scheme bullshit. And I, I'm going against the grain. I'm just some guy who figured things out a couple of years ago. I'm going against a system that's been in operation for 5,000 years. For however long that this iteration of existence has existed. Right? Like, they've been in control of it. They've written the books. They've controlled the narrative. So I'm going against the grain in every aspect. So where is the opposition? Let's see. Blah, blah, blah. Let me play when you're busy. And this person legitimately thinks 50% of his views are either Mossad, Unit 8200, or ADL is actively persecuting him. Well, I mean, I think more than 50% of the people commenting are, and it doesn't make any sense any other way. I try to make sense of things, right? Why would there be so many acknowledged friars on here obsessed with me day after day after day if I'm wrong and don't matter? I'm talking to 16 people, right? Who gives a shit? That's not going to affect anything, is it? So why do you care so much? Why do you put in so much effort to try to prove that I'm wrong? Or not to try to prove it, to try to say that I'm wrong. Come on, let's go outside. Come on, let's go outside. I mean, it just, it comes down to common sense because you don't tell us why any other way. If we ask simple questions of, why do you guys do this? Why do you guys say what you say? Why do you guys come here day after day after day, spending hours, literally hours of your most of you have spent the equivalent of months you've spent on my feed begging for my attention. Months of your life. You're going to look back and your life is going to be me. You begging for attention and getting ignored for hours at a time. And then when I'm not live, you think about. You try to scheme ways that you can figure things out. That's pretty fucking sad. Like if you're somebody who's, holy shit, I finally found somebody saying the same things that I think, that's one thing. But to be like, oh, I don't like this guy, everything you're saying is a lie and it's wrong, but I'm not going to actually address it. Like, that's just stupid. That doesn't make any sense.
Your eggs are Arnold's Benedict. This just made smart of me. This is my...
All right, I'm poor. Yeah, of course you are. If you weren't, you'd show off. Simple. You'd make your Guy Williams Sucks video sitting in your Hummer, showing off your fucking wealth. You wouldn't be such a fucking coward. If you were so rich, then spending $1,000 to buy credibility on something you spend as much time as you do on me shouldn't have been an issue for you, especially since it's American taxpayer dollars. What the fuck do you care? You could have bought all the credibility in the world, and you chose not. You lied about it, actually. You lied. At first you said you'd do it. Then you said you did it. Or you tried, but you didn't know where to send it. Then you said that now, in order to get, you were going to give me $50,000 if I just met you at an airport somewhere and we went to lunch in Tel Aviv or some dumb shit. Then, when that didn't work, you claimed that you were coming up to Detroit and you were going to meet me and just give me $5,000 just to meet with you. I mean, what kind of obsessed weirdo? Either way, if you're lying, that's the effort you're putting into lying just so you can get attention is crazy. If you're telling the truth, and you're doing all that for somebody that's wrong, fucking crazy. Either way, you're a dumb fucking friar and you do nothing but prove it. Guys, if you're watching, you know what to do. I don't want to say the words because it seems like it triggers something and all of a sudden my feed dies. But, you know, where you do that thing to the video and then you let somebody else see it. You know, where you let somebody else, you click the button, let somebody else see it. And then you say, hey, computer, I like this channel, so I'm going to come here more often. You know, do all those things that if I say them, it seems like it fucks up my feed. Oh, big shocker. This guy is proud of himself. I'm really sure he is. Oh, this guy destroys his own credibility. How? If I'm destroying my own credibility, why don't you just discredit me? Why don't you pick one thing that I'm wrong about? It's not like I was wrong that you called rape victims liars, right? Or are you going to cowardly say you didn't say that either? Yeah, I'm as proud of my anti-Semitism as I am of anything. Anything in this world. I'm as proud that I was able to break free from the fucking narrative and know what the goddamn word means. Right? Semitism is policy or predisposition favorable to friars. All right? And I know I have to show you because this is the one time where I don't even fuck around. There's no getting around this one, okay? So we go here and we go to the Google machine and we click the Semitism and then we click definition. We click the Google machine. We go down here to Merriam-Webster's. I don't care about the AI overview. Merriam-Webster, right? The one that we all agree is the Webster's of dictionaries, right? The Kleenex of dictionaries, right? The jacuzzi of dictionaries is the Webster's, right? Semitism page, Merriam-Webster.com. Semitism, no hiding, no crying. Number 1A, Semitic character or qualities. Number 1B, a characteristic feature of a Semitic language occurring in another language. Number 2, policy or predisposition favorable to friars. Policy or predisposition favorable to friars. You guys understand that? Policy, meaning the rules and regulations. Right? The rules and regulations, the way that the governance of our society. The AIPAC Policy Conference that happens every year and is attended by more government officials than anything else but the State of the Union address in which they're required to be there. That's like all government officials on a certain level have to be at the State of the Union address. Voting on shit, fun, whatever. Nothing else exists where more government officials will attend it than the AIPAC Policy Conference, where AIPAC decides the U.S. policy for the year. So much so that in 2016, while they were campaigning, both Trump and Hillary took a couple days off to go attend the AIPAC Policy Conference, where neither one said anything bad about each other and both pledged their allegiance to Israel. See what I mean? Even when I talk about the feed, so like, share, sub, didn't matter if I said it or not. Just talking about the idea of it took my feed from 22 down to 8, just like that. That's how that works. It's not Kangaroo's brain day. One of his family must be wearing it today. He gets the brain approximately a week unless he's got 18 case once a fortnight. There you go. Yeah, I know you know. Everybody knows. Hello, I'm a rabbi at a synagogue in New York. I would like you to come visit. Yeah, right. You know how long it would take for me to wash that stink off me? God damn, are you crazy? Obviously, because you're, Y-O-U-R, easily triggered. Yep. That must be it. I'm easily triggered to talk about the things that I always talk about. And then you provide me examples of the... yeah. Oh, man. Way to trigger me. How do I avoid being triggered? Well, not... how do I avoid my easily triggered? Because obviously it's my easily triggered. What? What is it? I'm smarter than you, but I can't use the right your. That's the best you've got. Of course it's the best they have. Like, it's fucking ridiculous. It's not mine. Right. So stupid. I teach love too. So are you inviting me to take up the Torah? Again, like, I don't understand. Why would you want somebody that hates everything about you to take up studying your thing? Like, it just doesn't make any sense. Obviously, it's not that I'm coming from a lack of understanding. The problem is I understand too much. And unlike you, I wasn't, violated from 3 years in one day till I was 12 years in one day. Then I was betrothed to some old man. If I'm a woman, I don't, the boy situation is a little different. They still get abused and stuff, but then I was betrothed from 12 to 13, to which I was married off and started to have kids. But I also, at 13, become an adult. And because I'm so full of all those transcended sins that were put on me through the abuse I received going 3 years and to 12 years, now I'm full of all those sins and I need some redemption. So I'm gonna I'm gonna rape a child. Like that. There's nothing. I'm not misunderstanding that. You guys understand? Anybody who doesn't see it my way is misunderstanding. You haven't put in the time. You haven't put in the effort. It really doesn't even take that much. All you have to do is look into it like a little bit. And you'll understand that like, this is fucked up. This shit is so fucked up. These people are so fucking crazy. I'm friar, so I don't affirm that Jesus is God. Therefore, I don't need to follow his teachings ascribed to him through Christianity. The fuck does that even... who gives a fuck about Christianity? Is anybody pushing Christianity other than friars? Isn't it interesting how you guys want us to be friars? I mean, want us to be Christians instead of friars? Christians want people to be Christians. Muslims want people to be Muslims. Friars want you to be Christian. That way, because Christians have been tricked. Your whole thing is about putting yourself in your subservient position. The Bible is a Jewish book. There's no, that's not a conspiracy theory. All of the characters, the main characters in the Bible are Jewish, including Jesus. You can't deny it. There's nothing to even say. And what it teaches you time and time again is that these main characters are the only ones that are capable or have the ability or are allowed to create the God phones, where they can have a direct line to God. And over again, the God phone, they build their God phone out in the middle of nowhere where nobody else can see them. There's no witnesses. But they built their God phone. God comes down, talks to them, tells them, hey, everything from this place to this place is yours now. And this is your new name. And then apparently they go walking into town and they're like, hey, I just built a God phone, like, you know, we can. And God said everything from there to there is mine. So I'm going to move into the big house over on the hill. And all of you owe me taxes now. And everybody was like, yeah, okay, if you say so. I mean, you are chosen people, like, fucking A. That's what the Bible teaches you. It's not about all the other bullshit. It's about subservience. And unrealistic, unreasonable subservience. And you fucking, you take it in and you, okay. And now when you look at the world that we live in, you know, they're openly talking about the $3.8 billion a year that we give to Israel. The thing is, most of you are too trusting or whatever to really understand the depth of that. What are you doing? First of all, the $3.8 billion a year is just the initial it's like the least amount of money. It's a lump sum cash payment given in the first fiscal month of every year. Stop it, Broly. First fiscal month of every year. And it's a cash payment. They call it military aid, but that's just what they call it. They just say, oh, that's military money now. Yeah, we say that's military aid. And the military aid is meant to be like an insulting illusion, right? They tell you that the military aid is to give to Israel so they can stimulate our economy by buying weapons from us. That's what the military aid means. We give them money to buy weapons from us. It's like when your mom would give you $20 at the store when you were a kid and be like, all right, go buy me a nice gift for Mother's Day. And you'd be like, do I spend like $15 on mom and buy $5 in candy? And she'd be upset and be like, Mom, if you wanted something nicer, you should have given me more money. But that's just the idea that that's how it's supposed to work. If you're not insulted by that, if you're not bothered by that they think you're too dumb to realize that's just us giving Israel weapons. We give them the money so they can buy it from us because that stimulates our economy. What if we took that $3.8 billion a year and put it into a pedophile hunter, an official pedophile hunter task force? The task force to combat pedophilia instead of the task force to combat anti-Semitism, ANTI-SEMI, capital SEMITISM. They use the old school spelling for that one, strangely enough. Good old Jared Kushner, piece of shit. But that $3.8 billion a year is just the tip of the iceberg. You'll hear about later on in the year where Israel just purchased $16 million in missiles from the United States. No, they didn't. We have all these other grants and shit set aside that pay for those missiles. So they don't ever give that money back. It's supposed to be that it's theoretical money that's put into bonds. No, it's cash. We transfer a cash payment to their system every fucking year. And again, that's just that one. You heard about it. You heard there was something that came up where we were going to give them more money and it was coming out of hurricane relief funds. Remember that shit? And then they couldn't, there was a hurricane or there was something that happened and they couldn't do anything because. Remember that shit? Yeah, that's how this works. But that, again, that's just those are just small pieces. The Abraham Accords that are the real legacy of Trump. It's not talked about now because it's pretty fucking bad. But you ever wonder why none of the other Muslim countries are coming to the aid of the Palestinians? And they all seem to be sort of just waiting for Israel to start targeting them? It's because they're all signed into the Abraham Accords. Abraham being the father of the friar people, according to the friar people. The father of all religious people, according to Christianity. And a really high-ranking prophet, according to Islam. So that's why they're all the Abrahamic religions, because it's all the same shit anyway. Funny thing is, Abraham's the father of the friar people. Who's the mother? That would be Sarah. Used to be Sarai. Got changed to Sarah because God did that. And that was Abraham's sister. Yeah, good old incest. Kind of explains a lot, doesn't it? Doesn't it? So fucking stupid, man. But the Abraham Accords are part of... So, the $3.8 billion a year is not like a treaty. It's considered with something called a memorandum of understanding. And a memorandum of understanding is above a gentleman's agreement, but below like an official treaty. Because if it was an official treaty, it would have oversight, right? It would have, restrictions, and there would be monitoring and all that kind of shit. A memorandum of understanding is it's just fucked up. It's just an agreement that it's not legally binding. Like, they can't sue over it, but they don't have to worry because it'll never get changed. Notice you didn't answer my question as to why you don't live by Romans 12:14. You dodged it by saying you don't believe Jesus is God, called you. I mean, again, it's a friar, Karen. It's just a different version of it. You're so used to the openly stupid friars that this one that can actually make a complete sentence, you believe he's intelligent? He is a pedophile. They all are. You do not support pedophilia unless you're a pedophile. There are no good NAMBLA members, right? It's all the same shit. You have to see this for what it truly is. Every single one of them knows about the pedophilia and says and does nothing. Actually, scratch that. They defend it. If somebody speaks out against it, like myself, like yourself, 100% of the time, they defend it. They try to act like something is wrong with you for not supporting it. Until we get, that is the thing. That is what we're being distracted from. We've all been long seasoned with war, We've seen war after war after war, and as fucked up and atrocious as all this is, it's just a continuation of what's already existed for 78 years or whatever it is. War is not the thing that unifies us. War actually divides us more than anything because, when it comes to this kind of war, we've been seasoned to hate the Arabs for such a long time that there's a lot of people that don't even see any of it other than, oh, it's bad guy Arabs versus who? I don't care who it is. I'm supporting them. Right? This is all part of their plan. This is why when Russia was the big bad, and the earliest episodes of Transformers, Russia is we're at Cold War, Russia's the big bad, and yet consistently they keep showing you Arabs and shit like that as being these bad guys. They love to season us with that shit. We've been seasoned, we're the Desert Storm generation. I was a kid when Desert Storm popped off. And the day after Desert Storm popped off, you could see it in my drawings. I went from drawing rainbows and fucking, cool vehicles and swords and all these other kinds of everything I could draw, to suddenly now it's just, I'm drawing war scenes. I'm drawing tanks with USA written on them, shooting missiles that say Patriot on them. And then on the other side, there are missiles coming back that look all shitty, and those are Scud missiles. And immediately you see this turn in war. War unites some of us, but it's division at its highest form, right? And they know that if they hide behind war, it can be controlled. They've proven it over and over again. They've shown us, their affinity for war and all of it. They love war. They know that pedophilia is the line. It's why the church does what it does to hide it. And there's so much wrapped up. Like, the church almost lost it in 2018 when it came out that the Pennsylvania broke up into 8 dioceses or whatever, and 6 of 8 of the dioceses were found to be riddled with pedophilia, where somebody would get caught and they'd send them across the country over and over again. So many stories. The only reason it wasn't 8 for 8 is because the other 2 counties were either Jewish or Amish counties. So they don't have the diocese in those areas like that. Or at least that diocese isn't going to be on the same, it's going to be different. It's going to be affected differently. And that should have been a real, holy shit moment. And it should have been a domino that knocked down, state after state. If anybody was dumb enough to believe that was just happening in Pennsylvania, I got a bridge to sell you. But it didn't work. They shut it down because they knew pedophilia is the no-no. And when it comes to these friars and their control scheme, we know that they're the Hollywood situation. Like, everybody who says, oh, conspiracy theory, would you let your kids go off to Hollywood? Right? Wouldn't you be super concerned if your kid or somebody close to you went off to Hollywood and, did whatever? It's taught this in your, it's taught. The sickness is a child from our tradition. This is. All of this shit is so obvious. The only thing that isn't obvious is your belief structure. You goddamn dog. Bad girl. Where are you even getting these from? There's so many other things for you to be chewing on. Where's the ball? Where's your ball, dude? Find it. There it is. Good boy. Go. Yeah, this is fucking nuts. This is nuts. Yeah, I definitely am a friar for sure. That's why I'm talking like this. Because, you know, you see friars talking about this shit all the time, right? That's the point. You'll never see any friars talking about these things. You're never going to see the friar movement where they're out here, you know, condemning metzitzia, condemning soul correction. As a matter of fact, the only thing you're going to see is someone like me starts trying to talk about it, and for some reason, they just come out of the woodwork. They just come out of the woodwork, and they come out of the woodwork to tell me I shouldn't be talking about it. Not tell me what I'm wrong about, why I'm wrong, how I'm wrong. Nothing like that. Just that I shouldn't be saying these things because, you know, reasons. Supervisor. I just think it's a different form. You know, they're not all the fucking Eddie from the Lion King, like that settler that we saw. That one that's famous now. They don't all look like that. There are plenty of them that are capable of having, you know, of at least. See, the thing is, it's actually pretty funny. Karen thinks that the one guy that's actually using, like, you know, proper sentences somewhat and just isn't like blatantly stupid, that they must be a supervisor or something. Because we're just so used to seeing nothing but the stupidest of people consistently proving how stupid they are. Right? And so you're like, holy shit, like this guy actually can speak. This guy actually responds to things, you know, somewhat directly. He must be a supervisor. Like that's how stupid, that's how low they've set the bar for themselves. You know, this ridiculous bullshit that they pull off is just, you know, it is what it is. No, I you do what you do. I'm just pointing that out. Like, that's how funny this is to me. I see things from that perspective, not the surface. I always see the underlying thing, and it's like, look at how embarrassing they are. Look at how terrible they are at defending themselves and their thing. That all it takes is somebody that gets their yours right and their theirs right. And it's like, damn, they must be a supervisor. That's fucking hilarious. I don't know, man. You would think if you're going after the head of the monster, which that's absolutely what I'm doing. I'm trying to cut off as many tentacles as I can. And, you know, cutting off tentacles is never going to work to kill the monster. You have to cut the head off. But you would assume that going after the head of the monster would be more difficult. Most of the time, I just look at it and I'm like, how is it that nobody else has seen this stuff? How has it existed for as long as it has? And I'm the only one? You know? Karen, I gotta find somebody in Scotland to find somebody else that's like, ew, metzitzia gross. What the fuck is wrong with you? Guess what? I can't do that with the new book you gave us. Oh, that's so illegal. What's so illegal? What the fuck? I mean, again, like this dumb ass nonsense. Just dumb nonsense. Can you imagine if I went live And I would say things like, oh, hey, the friars are the bad guys. And you were like, man, that's a pretty crazy thing to say. Like, why would you say that? And I'm like, well, I'm not going to tell you. Right? I don't have any evidence to back up what I'm saying. I'm just saying it. Like, it would be pretty obvious I'm a dumbass. And, you know, the thing about truth is truth is so liberating. And it's inspirational. You find out some truth and you want to share it with people. You know, hey man, I found a place that's selling gas 50 cents less than everyone else. Hurry up and get over here. You know, hey, this store has a sale on something really great. Normally it's a lot more expensive. You know, get your ass over there. Go get you some. That's how we operate. We're not like, oh shit, I got to keep it all to myself. That's just not us. A great example of Goyim spirit, Goyim, is a couple of years after 9/11. There was, let's see, I was in Virginia when it happened, so it was like 2004. 2003, 2004, I don't know. But there was the big blackout. You guys remember the blackout? Where like a huge part of North America, Northeast America, the power went out. And it was, you know, it was in the wake of 9/11, so everybody was scared. Dude, what? Come on. Yeah. So everybody was like extra scared because of 9/11 and, you know, and but what ended up happening is that the crime rate plummeted. The crime rates plummeted, and then everyone, stop it, Broly. Everyone got together, and they had, you know, they did cookouts, and people just sort of hung out and helped each other. Like, it was actually one of the best times for a short little window in modern history. It doesn't get talked about enough. It's actually a really crazy anomaly to think about. And this was as phones had just started, so we didn't have the addiction to the phone like we have now. So it would be a lot more difficult today. But I can't believe this guy is blaming increased crime rate on black people. What? Like, this is the funniest thing, right? This guy just attempted to respond to what I was saying. So he's clearly sort of at least somewhat paying attention to what's being said. I'm not even really sure where the fuck he can. But he's attempting to sort of respond to what I say. So it's not like he can't hear me or something is going on. All the shit I've talked about when I talk about metzitzia, all the soul correction, all that stuff, outside of, you're taking it out of context, this dumbass doesn't actually address any of it. But now when I'm talking about something that every American knows about, obviously this is an Israeli who doesn't know what I'm talking about. Especially a younger Israeli, right? Obviously, it could be a friar here who just, you know, because they use high school students and college students for act.il. That's what it was saying. So it is possible that, but just think about how stupid this fucking idiot is, and how he just acknowledged that he could be talking about the things I'm talking about. He clearly hears what's being said. Well, not clearly. I mean, he clearly, from our perspective, he can clearly hear it. Obviously, he's not clearly hearing anything, because I don't know where the fuck he got his last comment from, but that's just how stupid they are. They're just stupid. You can't expect intelligent responses and intelligence from stupidity. That's where like our fault comes into play. You know? You're the one at fault here if you're expecting one of these dumbass friars to come in here and start making sense. They can't. You know, their entire narrative is based off of Exodus. Without Exodus, there's no Abrahamic anything. No Christianity, no Islam, no friars. So everything that they believe stems from Exodus. Without Exodus, there's no, you know, if you take away Exodus, then you take away friarism. You take away all of it. It's all gone. You need Exodus to have their narrative. And Exodus is, there's not a reasonably intelligent, rational, thinking human being who can even pretend to believe in Exodus. Right? Like, you might kind of know the story, but if you actually broke it down and started really, like, what does Exodus say and all that shit, you'd be embarrassed at how stupid it is. It'd be one of those things where you'd feel weird talking about it because it's so stupid. Exodus is the dumbest story in the Bible. Come on, baby girl. Let's go. Dude, either stay out here or... What are you doing? Come on, that's a good girl. That's a good girl. Come here, that's a good girl. Oh, that's a good girl. Come here. Go on, go up. Come on, dude. Go. There's nothing for you to eat. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. We only feed them like once every 2 weeks or so. So you know they get pretty hungry. But this is, you know, this is how this works, man. This is how stupid these fucking people are. And to expect anything other than stupidity from stupidity is stupidity. Right? You end up making yourself look and sound stupid thinking one of these fucking morons is going to say something that matters. It's going to say something that actually makes sense or comes across as intelligent. Think about how much opportunity they've had. They're clearly watching my feed. They clearly do every day. They send multiple representatives here to try to, you know, do whatever. I know. Cool. And they've had all of the opportunity in the world to just make their thing not sound utterly psychotic. And they can't. They failed 100% of the time. It's impossible that I'm wrong and this right all the time. And really, what can they argue? It's not like they can argue against what I'm saying. Everything I'm saying comes from them. Right? You stupid dog. And we won't be doing that again. How did he get crime rates on black people out of what he's... Because they hear what they want to hear. They're, you know, it's more than likely it's a bot. But again, you're wondering, you know, I said something intelligent. Do you think something intelligent is going to be responded to with intelligence or stupidity? You know, they don't have the ability to respond to me intelligently. You know, they've never been taught that. What they've been taught is that someone like me should like willingly bow down. All they should have to do is sort of flash their friar badge, and I should be like, oh, well, you're one of the chosen people, so everything you say must be correct. Never mind the fact that I get all of my information from them. Every report I read, every article I read, all, everything on Wikipedia, it's all them. So pretending like I'm getting something wrong, it's just silly, man. It really is silly shit, but this is, it's what you expect. I mean, when you see them, whether it's the Hasidiotics or it's the settlers or whatever, do you ever look at them and go, wow, that looks like a respectable sort of, like, that guy, that outfit and the hat, oh, that hat is so good. And then the way they do their hair like that, oh, that looks great. That looks great. And man, that fragrance that they have, oh, that's fantastic. And do you ever see them and think, wow, you guys look really good? Like, wow, what a great look you have. Or do you laugh? I mean, they look like cartoons. It's that settler that's making the rounds. Hey, what are you doing? That settler that's picture is making the rounds. The one that looks like Ed from Lion King. Like he is the system is saying that sharing that photograph promotes anti-Semitism. It's a caricature that everybody looks at and just like busts out openly laughing. People literally LOL when they see that picture. And you think, man, somebody chooses to look like that? Like, obviously his face, he can't choose that train wreck. But he chooses to look like that? You see that hilarious back and forth between Rabbi Shmuley. Oh, yes. Rabbi Shmuley and that guy that called him out in New York. And Shmuley is supposedly at like some ballet or some high culture thing, and he has on sweatpants, Ugg boots, and like a belly shirt, a shirt that shows off his belly every time he raises his arms. And then you look at his gross beard and all that, and then the character that he portrays, the way that he acts, his entire presentation. You don't go, man, that guy is something to respect there. That guy there, that's a classy individual. You look at him and you think, ugh, what the fuck is wrong with him? Why would he ever... Where did that dog go? Why would he ever leave the house looking the way he looks? I mean, his face already looks like that. I get it. He can't do anything about that. Where'd she go? Oh, you're literally laying on the floor, and I'm thinking it's a stuffed animal. That's hilarious. Judaism pre-existed Exodus and Moses. Yeah, sure. Judaism was invented in the 1800s. Right. Hebrew is the youngest language on the planet. Take that in. It's the youngest language on the planet. Now, I know you're going to cry, right? You always cry. But let me show you something. Fire Marshal Guy. You should make that meme. That'd be funny. Eliezer Ben Yehuda. Who is Eliezer Ben Yehuda? Does everybody know who Eliezer Ben Yehuda is? Modern Standard Hebrew differs from Biblical Hebrew. How? Why? If you have a Biblical Hebrew, why would you make, when you remade the language supposedly, why wouldn't you make it based off of what already existed? Why would you need to base it on? Well, Eliezer Ben Yehuda, born Eliezer Yitzhak Perlman, January 7th, 1858. That's weird. Died December 16th, 1922. Was another Russian born. He was a Russian friar, linguist, lexicon, and journalist who immigrated to Jerusalem in 1881 when the Ottoman Empire ruled it. He was with the first Aliyah. He was the first of the first Aliyah. He is renowned as the lexicographer of the first Hebrew dictionary, and also known as the editor of the Jerusalem-based Havzi, one of the first Hebrew newspapers published in Mandatory Palestine. Ben Yehuda was the primary driving force behind the revival of the Hebrew language, because somehow they just lost their language. The key, the thing that translates the Bible. How do you lose a language when you have a Hebrew Bible there as your base, as your study guide? Doesn't that seem basic and weird? Like, doesn't make any sense. Almost like they're telling two different stories. And of course, that's our guy. That's our composite character that they gave us. Eliezer Yitzhak Perlman, later Eliezer Ben Yehuda, was born in Luzhki in the Vilna Governorate of the Russian Empire, which is now Vitebsk Oblast in Belarus, to Yehuda Leib and Tzipora Perlman, who were Shabbat, or how do you say that? Stop it. Shabbat. Hasidism. Hasidim. Hasidim. Shabbat Hasidim. I don't know. His native language was Yiddish. He attended a friar elementary school, a Scherter, a cedar. I think it's a cedar. I don't remember what it's actually called. Their shit's all weird. Where he studied Hebrew and the Hebrew Bible from the age of 3, as was customary among the friars of Eastern Europe. So again, how do you study Hebrew and the Hebrew language when it didn't exist? He is responsible for the revival of it. Does that make sense to you? It's like how Jesus was baptized. Yeah. You'll get it. But think about how stupid this is. And this guy's just going to keep saying it. Modern Standard Hebrew is conversational and not used in the Talmud. Yeah, that makes no sense. Why would you have two languages to begin with? Why Yiddish is already yours, and most people don't know it other than the words that have been forced into our cultural lexicon. Man, that guy has a lot of chutzpah. You say all kinds of shit that you don't realize is Yiddish bullshit. But for some reason, they needed to create Hebrew too? It just doesn't make any sense. He's studying a language that he revives. Because the conversational version of it is different. And then again, we'll hear more. He studied Hebrew and the Hebrew Bible from the age of 3, as was customary among friars of Eastern Europe. Because, you know, back then, 3-year-olds were studying fucking Hebrew and shit. They were reading books and shit, big long ass Torah scrolls, and 3-year-olds, because that makes sense. Because somehow 3-year-olds were not 3 back then. I mean, think about what a 3-year-old is. Think about what a 3-year-old is. And of course, you can get a 3-year-old to believe all kinds of crazy shit. We're programmed, we're like a blank slate, ready to be programmed, and we're willing to believe whatever fantasy you want us to believe until we grow up and, we get past it. We realize, oh, that's not really possible. Yeah, nobody has superpowers. Yeah, nobody can fly. Eventually, you sort of figure shit out. What's up, Matt? Modern Hebrew is the standard language that friars can use to communicate with each other in blah, blah, blah. You're accusing it of being a conlang, which is not the case. No, I'm accusing your entire fucking cult of not existing prior to the 1800s. And I don't even really believe in the 1800s, so that says even more. But no, your shit is fake. And that's what the narrative will show if you just look into it. He attended Friar Elementary School, a shelter where he studied, blah, blah, blah. At the age of 12, gosh, isn't that weird? Right as to coincide with the Talmud stuff. From age 3 to age 12. Gosh, that's strange. That seems like something else we've been talking about that happens from age 3 to 12 in that community. So think about it. From age 3 to 12, they're being ritually assaulted. And in order to do it and keep them quiet, keep them sane, keep them alive, they're filling them with this religious scripture and telling them that they're chosen and that they're special. And that's why this is being done to them, because they're saving the world. They're taking on the sins in order to keep the world safe. And all this crazy shit that is misinterpreted the same way by numerous people forever. They're misinterpreting things same way. Look at this fake piece of shit trying to pretend to be nice. Shut your friar fucking mouth. At least be consistent, you pedo piece of shit. By the age of 12, he had read large portions of the Torah, Mishnah, and the Talmud. Yeah, right. You gotta be kidding me. If my shit wasn't so low, I'd go show you. I have a Talmud, and it's huge. By age 12, he's reading all that shit, huh? His mother and uncle hoped he would become a rabbi and sent him to a yeshiva. Again, for such persecuted people to have the ability to be able to send their children to a well-funded school that, operates independent like that, it's just weird. Another weird little coincidence. There, he was exposed to the Hebrew of the Friar Enlightenment, which included some secular writings. Later, he learned French, German, and Russian. Of course he did. He was a veterinarian. He was a carpenter. He was a grocer. He was great at making clothes. He was a chemist. You know, he did some deep sea diving, traveling all over the world in the 1860s and shit. The 1860s were a happening time, man. Really happening, man. You should have been there, bro. And he was sent to Dunneberg for further education, right? Just sending the kids off. I mean, just think about the communication. How are you facilitating all of the logistics of this travel, of these arrangements? Who's paying for shit? How does this all work in the 1850s, 60s, whatever this is? Reading the Hebrew language newspaper Hashara, he became acquainted with the early movement of Zionism. So there was a Hebrew language newspaper. How the fuck is there a Hebrew language newspaper? Wouldn't the newspaper be printed in conversational Hebrew? Or are we saying the newspaper was printed in biblical Hebrew as well? Is that going to be your dumbass excuse? Is that how that's going to work? Like, this is fucking stupid. And this shows how stupid you are, man. You're just stupid. No. That what he was learning was biblical Hebrew. It's different from conversational Hebrew. How can he be the person that revives the language, when he was reading the Hebrew newspaper long before he revived the language? I mean, it's just stupid. It's like they put these things out here because they never expect anyone but friars to come look this shit up. Who's going to give a shit about Eliezer Ben Yehuda other than friars propping him up for some bullshit? You think any Goyim are sitting there like, gee, I wonder? No, only my dumbass. They don't expect us to come here with common sense and read what it says. They expect some dumb friar to come in here who wants to believe it already and just says, oh yeah, okay, that's conversational Hebrew. Like, this is what they expect. They expect, again, expecting intelligence from stupidity is my stupidity. And it's the same thing here. Like, I'm expecting to look at this from an intelligent standpoint while realizing, like, these guys are fucking morons, man. How can I put intelligence on something stupid and make it come out intelligent? It's not going to. Please tell us if the Talmud, seriously, amuse me and yourself if you're that way inclined. I would very much like to know why we're told you have one book, but behind you are, yes. Why is it, the Talmud is Fight Club. They say, tell the Goyim that it's the Torah is the book. Tell the Goyim that our book is the Torah. Tell them it's like the Old Testament and the New Testament. That's what this old friar told a friend of mine when she asked about it. It's kind of like how the Old Testament and the New Testament are. And I was like, no, that's not what it is. I wonder why he told you that. Because he didn't want you asking any questions about the Talmud. But tell me how I'm taking on a context that if a Goyim rapes a child, they should be killed, rightfully. But if one of you friars does it, now, again, I assume the micro penis comes into play, right? Like, are you going to at least acknowledge that part? Because if the child is under 3 years in 1 day, if an assault happens, it basically doesn't happen. Because the child is less than 3 years in 1 day, they're not really online yet, and you know, it's like the quote is, it's like a poke in the eye. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me the Talmud doesn't translate into it's akin to a poke in the eye if the child is less than 3 years in one day. And you would think a poke in the eye is like a little nub poking you in the eye. Maybe that's why. I can't rationalize it even a little bit in my head. So that's the best I can come up with, is that, you know, they know they have the microphone, I guess. But if the child is older than 3 years in one day, the violator is responsible to pay the victim's family the, quote, full dowry, which is 50 shekels or 100 dinars. And once they do, the victim now belongs to the rapist as somewhere between a slave and a wife. Now, if the assault happens after the person is 12 or has already been betrothed, because at 12 years old, they generally get betrothed to a man who's, 10, 15 years older than them. And so there's that year-long sort of courtship. And at 13, they get married. When they become an adult at 13, they have their little mitzvah. And now they're an adult and they've been given a lot of money. And now they belong to they go get married and start popping out children with this grown man. And if the assault happens in between that time, before they can lose their virginity, they are now responsible. The violator is now responsible to pay double the amount, so 100 shekels or 200 dinars, and essentially the marriage is off and all that, because again she's now tainted. She belongs to him now. Now that he has violated her, she belongs to him. And don't worry, she probably has 7, 8 sisters you can pick from. Just give it a year or two. Multiple books, including Gemara, Mishnah, and several treatises. Nobody claims the Talmud is. What do you see? What I mean? They start answering questions that you're not asking. They start trying to sound smart by flooding out a bunch of nonsense, but in reality, they're not answering anything. What a coinkydink. I was going to ask you that earlier. Only speak 3 languages, excluding a modicum of Arabic. Not fluently, though, so I don't count it in you. I live, who gives a fuck, a few years working for Armaco after my service in the IDF. You are a baby-killing piece of shit. Fuck you. Fuck you. You are the bottom of the fucking barrel. You baby-killing piece of shit, IDF fucking soldier piece of shit. Fuck you. The Talmud takes place after Christianity began. Can you explain how come that had to happen? No, I don't give a fuck about that stuff. I want to know about the pedophile stuff. I don't care about all the other fantasy bullshit. All that other shit, what came when, who said this, who said... All that shit is just narrative that they give us. We can't prove any of it one way or another. What we can prove is that the Talmud says these things, and there are many cultures, many settlements, whether here in the United States or where Karen is or wherever, in the UK, all over, settlements like Palestine in the 30s and 40s, where these people are living a Talmudic life. They live by the Talmud. Meaning, all of these horrible things are still happening today. I don't care about the fantasy bullshit. I don't care about who they told us the narrative, and I want to know what the fucking the responsibility of the narrative, how it affects today. And today, friar children are being fucking violated left and right because of their fucking bullshit. And that is unacceptable. And of course, you don't see any of these pieces of shit saying anything along these lines. Right? They're not down to protect the shit. They don't care because, listen, it's fucked up. But this happened to this piece of shit. Sirius was violated. Absolutely. They're not going to acknowledge it, but they were. And then at 13 or 14, 15, they were forced to violate a child themselves to fucking complete that circuit. And then he went to the IDF and blah, blah, blah. But that's how you create a disconnected piece of shit like that. Right? That's how you create one of these pieces of shit. Somebody heartless. Somebody who can pretend to be nice. Oh, hey, Matt, what's going on, buddy? How are ya, buddy? When they're a fucking baby-killing piece of shit. Right? And then, look it, again, not going to deny anything I say, but says, oh, I thought I was a bot. Right? That's how you know how fucked up these pieces of shit are. Carbon dating. Oh, yeah. I'm going to believe that the information given to me by the people that benefit from it. That makes so much sense. Joining themselves again. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck about any of that? It's all fake bullshit. None of it's fucking real. No Jesus, no fucking David, no Abraham. None of that shit is real. It's all fake bullshit. Designed to keep us as slaves. 2,800 slaves each. They all get 2,800 slaves. And because we all know they are not physically capable of containing and managing 2,800 slaves each, that we would revolt immediately. It's not a literal thing. It's figurative. For them to live the comfy, cozy, secure lives they live, where they don't work and they go to yeshiva and they, whatever their bullshit, it requires 2,800 of us out here keeping the lights on, keeping the tires on the cars and making the things and, Asian little Asian children hands to make all the small things they like and to keep the lights on, you got to feed that guy, all the people at the restaurant. You got to clothe that guy, all the people at the clothing store. And all those people have to be fed. And all those people have to be fed. And all those people have to be fed. And it's all the same. It's a big network that all has to work out to keep them in the position they're in. And it equates to about 2,800 of us for each one of them. There's a big point that gets missed here all the time. And I try to point it out as much as I can. But ask yourself why Israel didn't take all of Palestine from the beginning. If they would have just, instead of taking 86% of it in 1948, if they would have just taken the other 14%, by 2026, we wouldn't even be talking about it. It would be another one of those stories that's lost to history. There are lots of stories like that, where one group was there and then they're not anymore. At least according to the narrative. And we don't celebrate it. We don't think about it. Most people don't know about it. All keeping that 14% there until, 67, where they took a large portion of that too. All that did was, one, foster a bunch of hatred put them at risk that one of those people that are inside the pen, because they corralled them into a pen. They didn't let them live amongst them and all over. They corralled them into an area that's been blockaded for decades. They can't get food supplies, medicine, anything like that. It's a nightmare in certain areas. But they also, it's so fucked up to say it, but if you talk to any hunters, they try to get a clean shot that's an instant kill. Because if they get a bad shot and the animal is able to run off, as it runs off, it's in flight mode, so it's fearful. And when it's fearful, when its adrenaline's going like that, its muscle fibers tense up, and the meat isn't as good, apparently. If you can kill it while it's drinking some water and enjoying its majesty, and you get that clean shot and it's killed like that, the meat tastes better. And so in Palestine, you can't actually have everybody living in squalor, or else, meat's not going to taste as good. I use the same analogy every time because it works. If you had a cow farm and every year, same day, you wanted to have a festival where everybody eats hamburgers, and say you have 100 people that come to your festival, it's a big number of people, and you have 50 cows, are you going to slaughter all 50 cows to feed that 100 people? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Because what happens when you want hamburgers at other points of the year? What happens when you have other hamburger festivals at other points of the year and you need more hamburgers? No, you would probably slaughter the least amount possible to get the job done. If it was like that, because you would need to maintain your hamburger supply forever. And when you look at rituals like Passover, where every single year, it's hard to actually, sort of quantify this, but to say that Israel spills more blood is like, really? They can do that? But yeah, during Passover every year, something significant happens. It's usually the start of something. It's usually some sort of, Israel is beginning something. And a lot of times they'll pretend like a missile or two was flown in their direction or whatever. But this time they didn't even bother. They did the ceasefire was supposedly struck. And then almost immediately, Israel attacks Lebanon and hits 100 fucking sites in 10 minutes. 100 sites are attacked in 10 minutes. That's some heavy duty coordination. That was long in the plan. You didn't just come up with that on a whim. Right? 100 in 10 minutes. And that happened on the last day of Passover, when theoretically nothing like that should happen. They should be in a state of sort of religious sort of quiet, right? Don't you think Passover would mean like they're sort of chilling out? But Passover has always been about spilling blood. Even, the initial biblical term, the sort of narrative that's behind it is that, let my people go, that whole Egyptian bullshit that's not accounted for in anyone else's history but theirs, where they were supposedly the slaves of the Egyptians. This is what leads to Exodus. This is the start of Exodus. And they keep begging to be let go, and the Pharaoh won't let them go, so Yahweh and all of his fucking genius, Yahweh doesn't just appear to the Pharaoh and be like, hey, look at, okay, blah, blah, here we go. let my people go kind of thing. Yahweh decides that he's going to bring the plague of the firstborn onto the Egyptians, and the angel of death is going to come down and kill all of the firstborns on the Egypt side of things. And the way to avoid the angel of death killing your firstborn male is that they sacrificed a lamb. I don't know how much blood a single lamb has, but there was some 2 million friars. So there had to be a lot of houses. But they took, and apparently again, the Egyptians didn't notice 2 million friars getting together and sacrificing a lamb and then taking some of the blood from the lamb and swiping it over the doorstep, right? Because the angel of death will pass over your house if you have the blood on the doorstep. That's what that shit means. It's about spilling blood. And they do it every fucking year. And a lot of times, it's a hamburger festival. They go to the herd. They kill from the herd. Most years it is. I'm actually surprised it was the Lebanese this time, but they destroyed the pen. I don't know what the plan is other than to subjugate maybe the Lebanese, or we know the Greater Israel plan is in effect. So who's going to be the new Palestine that they keep around and they allow to exist? And then they sacrifice from every year, along with, throughout the year. The interesting thing is that Palestine was full of Christians as well as Muslims, just like Lebanon. Lebanon is way full of Christians. And we know that the blood libels require Christian children's blood. Kind of coincidental, don't you think? A quinkydink, as Karen pointed out. Let's see, we've got some dumb shit coming, I'm sure. Commentaries, Nazi laws. It's funny, this dumbass is addressing Karen, but won't address the things I'm saying. Isn't that weird? Isn't that weird? You can't explain it. Going to the flesh. Oh, yes, easily read. Oh, I love when somebody says the explanation of something is for you to go read a couple of books. Obviously, you don't have an understanding of it if you can't give that understanding. Hey, you should go check out this restaurant. Really? Why? What do they offer? Oh, no, I'm not going to tell you. You just have to go there. There's some reviews. You can read reviews, I guess. Well, why can't you tell me? What did you have when you were there? I don't talk about that stuff. What do you mean? Why would you just tell me what you ate? No. That's not my style. Hey, look over there. I am an Orthodox friar, which means I'm rabbinical and take multiple sources rather than solely the Torah. Nobody's talking about the Torah here. Isn't that weird that you keep talking about the Torah when, even though you're not talking to me, you're talking to Karen, and Karen's been talking about the Talmud. Such cowardly behavior, man. It's always such cowardly behavior. Much like standard Christian take from various canons and codexes. No. Most Christians take from the King James Bible, of which they barely know. And they think the other denominations are stupid. Your average Catholic, your average Lutheran or whatever, they think that the fucking Pentecostals talking to snakes and shit, they're fucking stupid. Baptists all screaming and getting the Holy Ghost, they're fucking stupid. And they are. Anyone who claims they get the Holy Ghost is fucking stupid. I don't know how anybody can see a video of themselves pretending to get the Holy Ghost and think, man, I look good. That's a good look for me. I'm referring to apostolic Christianity. It says it's ruined, blah, 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 blah. They don't use King James to my knowledge. Cause has been booted yet again 3 times in about 10 minutes or so. How come you won't answer for my stuff? It seems like you're going with the safe thing right now. Right? Karen's not asking you about the nasty shit. So you're going with what Karen has to say because apparently that's easier. Right? You're not addressing the things that I'm saying because they're fucked up. And you can't address them and sound like a reasonable, intelligent person. If you're an Orthodox friar, then this shit is happening way more in your shit than it is anywhere else. The Orthodox and the Hasidiotics are the ones that are repeatedly quoted as having, this is where it happens the majority of the time, although it happens in secular society as well. The things that the Bottom of Darkness reports about the Orthodox community, it's just shocking. The abuse at home, the violence at home. Remember, I said to you that this piece of shit had this happen to them. Not only had it happen to them as they were a child, but then they were forced to do it themselves when they got old enough, after they were 13. And they didn't deny it. They just skipped right over it. Don't you think such a blood libel accusation would at the very least be denied if it wasn't true? So you're, Y-O-U-R, come on, buddy, saying religion is the reason everything is happening and they're, T-H-E-R-E, trying to cover it up? Religion is not the reason everything is happening. No. Religion is how they facilitate a large portion of it and keep people stupid and in line. I mean, think about it. You are worshiping a fucking zombie. A zombie. Everything you believe about the Bible is not true. Like the whole thing where people talk about he is risen. First of all, that's a dumb thing to say. Notice how Christians always speak in a different language. But the concept of he is, how do you know somebody didn't just steal the body? Nobody saw him rise. They came back and the rock was moved and the body was gone. That's all that is. I mean, I just don't understand. Like, what the fuck are people, like, what makes more sense? Jesus came back to life, got out of there, and then didn't come back or anything, and was like, I'll come back when the prayer jar fills up. Or somebody stole the body. I mean, it's fucking, it's ridiculous. Christianity, religion, having comments occasionally retracted on my behalf. Oh God, Joel's back. I thought you were done here, pedo. Engaged in blood libel. Neither do I know anyone who has engaged in it. There you go. That's what the fuck your response is? Wow. Talk about telling. Talk about telling. I'm not talking about the sacrificing of Christian children. That's a fringe part of the conversation. Funny how that's how you chose to answer. Wow, that's amazing. That's fucking crazy. That's how stupid you are? You realize you said way more by saying what you said than, anything else, right? Like, even if you denied it, it would have been better than saying what you said. But the fact that you say that shit is crazy. God doesn't believe in God because in his head, he is God. Yeah, that's what I say all the time, right? As a matter of fact, if I was God, then none of you would exist. Because I would just dinkle, dinkle, dink everything away. I definitely wouldn't be walking around. I'd be flying around like Magneto and shit. But no, I'm not God. Never said I was, never claimed to be. Nice way to still avoid what's being said, though, you weirdo pedophile. Right? It's amazing how this works. Bro really interrupted what I said, interpreted what I said as an admission of guilt. Yeah, it's what you didn't say as the admission of guilt, you fucking moron. Seriously, isn't there an intelligent one amongst you? Like, Karen made the mistake in thinking you were a supervisor because you didn't get yours wrong, which again is a super low bar, but I understand where she's coming from. But at this point, like, it's amazing that you're sitting here pretending like you didn't hear what I had to say. You didn't hear me talk about, get down. What are you doing? You didn't hear me talking about you being a victim of the bottom of darkness. You being ritualistically essayed from 3 to 12. And then at 13 or older than 13, when you became an adult at 13. And first time, of course, I'm saying. If you were an IDF soldier, it happened a lot more than just the once. But the first time you did it was to absolve yourself of all the sins that had been put into you. And so then, once you became the adult on your side, well, now it was your turn to complete the circuit and essay a kid yourself. And at this point, you know, you can't play stupid. It's pretty obvious what I'm saying. Well, if he's an adult, please educate him in the way of discussing topics respectfully, debate diligently, and converse creatively with the concretely correct. Thanks for tongue-tying me there, lady. Oh, he needs medical help, he says again. Again, it's the medical. See, the thing is, this is how you know how fucked up their shit is, right? Like, he's saying that if you know this stuff and you speak about these things, not, hey, we should try to fix it with everything we are and be the best humans we can be. He's saying that people that speak about these things should be medicated. They need mental help for saying we need to protect Jewish children. A friar is saying, I need medical help for saying we need to protect Jewish children. Think about how crazy that is. This is the guy who said the bottom of this article was just a lie. All the women in the story lied about it. The 10 plus women that were interviewed out of the hundreds that they could choose from in their little thing, which was out of the thousands of stories that have existed throughout the years. And that's just who came forward. They're all lying because Joel doesn't want to be outed, even though he doesn't realize he's outing himself. Yep, circumcision is a covenant of the children. Yep, see? Just fucking weird, man. Every criticism you levy towards friarism can be levied toward Palestinians you keep praising. See, again, these are the responses they always make. Like, don't tell us, what about that? What about that? What about them? Right? This is how they always do it. So, it's bad if they do it, but not if you guys do it. Is that what you're saying? I should be focusing on them because theirs is somehow bad, but yours isn't? I don't keep praising Palestinians at all, though. Isn't that funny how, again, in order to make their own arguments, they have to, like, make up my arguments. They have to make up my side so that they can argue something because they refuse to answer the questions being put forth. And that is exactly, the evidence that because again, this guy's not going to come out and talk about, again, him getting violated in the bottom of darkness rituals, in soul correction. He's been in many soul correction circles. This shit happened every 2 weeks. This shit happens every 2 weeks. It happens every 2 weeks after a Torah lesson. You understand how fucked up this is? It's pure cognitive dissonance. Yeah, that's by addressing the problem, that's me being not addressing the problem. Gotcha. Where all people should get along. Why does it matter if they're, THERE, part of such a religious group? Are you insane? Are you insane? Are you saying because it's not your group or you or anybody you know, then it doesn't matter that they're raping children? Are you out of your fucking mind? Raping children? That's not something that needs to be stopped no matter who it is. Figure pointer blaming crybaby coward shit, call it out guy. Huh? It's called applying consistent standards, which exposes your flawed premise. What other than being consistently stupid and consistently avoiding what's being said, what consistency are you applying here? I don't think anybody is going, man, that Sirius is really putting it down here. I've got a much better understanding of these crazy friar customs now because Sirius, well, he addressed those things. What a fucking piece of shit you are, man. Justice for the Palestinians is overdue. Yeah, but that's a small piece of it. Right? You can't say free Palestine to Lebanon. You can't say free Lebanon to Syria. You can't say free Syria to Iran. All those victims of in Hollywood, they don't want to hear free Iran. It's not one individual tentacle. It's cut the head off the monster. We have to cut the head off the fucking monster and kill all of the tentacles. And until we do that, it's going to happen in all its different forms. I start at that point. Tells me to fuck them up. You get me? No, I get it. Let's see. They should handle business a little better. You can't just extend your muscle to the world, otherwise you don't have any for yourself. Who the fuck are you talking about? Look, Joey's dumbass is like, you're talking about pedophilia, you're talking about genocide. I'm gonna post a heart, the pedo blue and white flag, the American flag, the pedo blue and white flag, and a heart. Instead of denying, instead of addressing, he's talking about how much he loves it. Talking about the talking children shit is being put on another religious group, which is to avoid accountability, of which you're explaining right now in your life. No, I got you. I like Palestinians. I was in Ramallah. I crossed over the West Bank from Tel Aviv to party there. It's whatever. It's whatever. Jesus Christ. It's whatever, says this piece of shit. Again, trying to bring the topic back to the Palestinians because they want us talking about war. They know there's too many me's out there talking about the actual problem here. Right? The actual problem is this pedophile cult feeding us children in McDonald's and shit like that. Like, as long as we can keep the conversation on Palestine, we can keep it on something that people have been programmed not to care about. People who don't violate children 100% of the time give a shit about children being violated. People who say, oh, I don't care, those children aren't from here or my neck of the woods, so they got pictures on their phone and shit. So they don't have to be known as baby such a religion, if that makes sense. You're imagining hatred which doesn't exist. What? See what I mean? They just cannot fucking address anything. And talking about this Messiah mentality that you have to save the world, that's not our position. Who are you to tell me? Like, I love when people tell me that I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing. Right? Like, who are you to then tell me? If I shouldn't be doing what I'm doing, who are you to tell me that? Aren't you violating your own dumb fucking philosophy here by coming here and telling me not to talk about this? Telling me I should be doing something else with my own time? Nobody forces this on you. I mean, other than those that are assigned this feed, obviously. But you should go do your thing. Right? Why would you be here crying about what I'm doing if you don't like it? You can believe what you want. That shouldn't, no. No, I can't. In our society, if I believe what I do, apparently I get targeted pretty severely. I get censored. I get silenced. I get limited. You can be wrong, but you're entitled to your opinion. Again, what the fuck are you even talking about now? Instead of actually addressing what's being said, now we're getting all philosophical. Well, though, you can be wrong and be right. You can want water. I just want you to say you know what it's like to be thirsty sometimes. Come on, Billy. Oh, Billy. Oh. I, too, know what it's like to be thirsty. That what you want to hear there, miss? You can also be right and be pro-Israel and not anti-Semitic. No, you can't be pro-Israel. Well, wait. I mean, anti-Semitic would be against the Palestinians. So if you're pro-Israel, you are anti-Semitic in nature. Right? The only Semitic people in the equation are the Palestinians, the Lebanese, the Syrians, all the victims of Israel are the Semitic people. The only people in that whole thing that aren't Semitic are you guys. And again, you guys wouldn't be there if not for Baron fucking Rothschild. It's as conspiracy theory as it gets. Israel would not exist without Baron Rothschild. That is so fucked up. Wash yourself. There are leftists in Israel. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? All of this to avoid the pedophile stuff, right? To avoid the real topic of the conversation. He is giving you a real-time example of what's going on. He's naming off all of these distractions that you're supposed to focus on instead of what I'm talking about. Trying to get me to talk about anything else but what happened to that fucking piece of shit. This shit I'm talking about happened to this guy. It happened to him, and he's not fucking thinking. It was awful. It was horrendous what I was put through. I can't believe I'm standing by and allowing other children to be put through this. And not only was he put through this and he's broken mentally, he's an IDF baby killer, according to him. Whether it's true or not, We don't know. But from his perspective, from what he's presenting to us, he is an IDF baby killer. Who are you to talk back to me? Is basically what you're saying. No, it's not. You dumbass. I'm answering your argument. You dumb fucking plebe. Seriously, you honestly, like, again, instead of addressing what's going on, you're coming here to tell me I should just stop doing it. So what should I be talking about according to you? And yet you don't see the irony in what you're doing, which was the point, you dumbass. Seriously, I still think you must have at least 2 more stripes. And did you immediately know that Joey is an adult? Right. Yeah, isn't it weird how they know each other? If you're being censored, how are you able to post on YouTube? It seems like you have a persecution complex. Yep, that's what it must be. Censorship would be if I had hundreds and hundreds of views, right? Not if I have 6, 8 views and 17 likes on a feed with over 2,500 subscribers. Yeah, that's not an example of censorship. If you go back to the day before Charlie got kirked, and my feeds are getting multiple thousands of views, Charlie gets kirked, and the next day, for months, my feed doesn't get past 100 views. I've had to build it up again since then. Yeah, that's not censorship. Censorship would be if I'm like, man, I'm only at 100 views right now. Look at me, wah. Right? The problem that you're going to run into is that everything that you're going to say is something that's been said to me 100 times. And I have a built-in response for every fucking thing you can come up with. Because one, you're not thinking for yourself. You're basically going off of the programming. And 2, the programming sucks. And I guess 3, you can't go against what I'm saying. I'm telling the truth. How are you going to sit here and go against the truth other than with lies? And lies aren't going to work. Now retracting messages. Mizrahism and blah, 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 Jews have been in the Middle East consistently for thousands of years. Yeah, so you say. Yeah, what does that have to do with anything about what's happening now? They always just revert to their programming, man. They can't actually roll with the punches. They can't actually engage in the conversation properly. So now it's just, we've been here for thousands of years. Right. Right, that's why the Aliyahs took place. 1881, you have the first Aliyah to Palestine. Even though, like you say, you had been colonizing Palestine, invading Palestine for a long time, at least according to the narrative. The whole narrative's just busted and fucked up. That's all. You're basically Nick Fuentes. Oh, am I? Am I telling people to believe in dumb Christian gods? Catholic fucking, which is actually just Jewish fairy tale? Is that what I tell people to do? Funny how Nick Fuentes is allowed to have such a huge following. Funny how Nick Fuentes went to dinner with Kanye West and Donald Trump. Well, you think that's going to happen for me? I'm basically Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I hate women, and I hate gay people, and I hate people of color who look just like me, and yeah, basically Nick Fuentes. See what I mean? They can only go with a few different arguments. They're prepared for a Nick Fuentes because he's a bigot piece of shit who's on the payroll. Nick Fuentes is Esther Project 100%. When he had the opportunity, he was on TV and he could have said, Yes, I think Israel did do Charlie Kirk. He said, no, I think according to the evidence, clearly Tyler Robinson did it. And now it's pretty fucking clear Tyler Robinson didn't. So what the fuck you talking about there, Nikki? He's a dumb piece of shit. The fact that he exists is that he exists to compare people like me to. Because if somebody says, oh, he's like Nick Fuentes, there's a large portion of the people that are going to be like, oh, fuck that bigot. I don't want to hear what he has to say. I don't go against people for their fucking who they are. I go against people's choices. And if you choose to be part of a pedophile cult, then you're in the crosshairs. I have to state that whatever is your command in English, perhaps you sound like your disciple and disperse knowledge. However, I think you're called fundamentally blah, blah, blah. Israel has a right to defend themselves, but nobody else does, right? Israel has a right to defend itself is an IDF thing. They came up with that phrase. Israel is the aggressor in everything. Israel just did 100 strikes in 10 minutes after a ceasefire was announced. Israel has been committing genocide the entire 78 years that they've been doing this shit. Israel was founded in genocide. Israel's nothing but shit. And guess what? Palestinians have a right to defend themselves too. Everybody has a right to defend themselves from an attacker. Israel doesn't have a right to exist because who gives it that right? Well, the God that we tell you exists gives it that right. Bullshit. Funny how the God that you say blah, blah, blah and all this, it only ended up coming to fruition in the 20th century. For the last 2,000 years, it hasn't been able to come to fruition. But suddenly, almost like it was just recently invented, it comes to fruition. Israel doesn't have the right to defend itself without our help. If that's the case, no, see, you don't understand. Israel exists because of our help. You can't just pull the Americans out and be like, all right, good luck, Palestinians, with all your rocks and sticks. Good luck with all those fighter jets we gave them. Good luck with all that armaments and tanks and all sorts of military-grade weaponry and technology and shit. No, we have to clean up our mess. That's us. Hamas didn't do shit. Hamas doesn't exist. No Israelis died on October 7th or were taken hostage outside of the Hannibal Doctrine. That thing was fake. It was a fake story. That's why there's no footage to support it. It's not real. Goodbye. I gotta go. This is about to cut off. So, guys, have a great day. Get your shit in the description. Downloads, all that shit. Gotta go. Bye.